Hey, this is the Maverick. Welcome back to the Mavericks Dojo, and this is part 2 of the Franklin Correa interview. Part 2. Who'd you study 52 blocks under?
Oh, I self-study that.
Oh,
I
okay.
self-study that.
Cool.
I've been trying to find a school, but the thing, there's so many. Like, I wanted to train under this guy. He's like one of the top authorities on offense. His name is Light Burley.
Yeah, I interviewed him in one of my shows.
Yeah, I always want. I talked to him like he's a friend of mine through Facebook. I inboxed him, and I said to and I asked him. I said, listen, I want to study this at two blocks. I've been wanting to study it before it was 52 blocks. They called it Jailhouse Rock back in the early 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
And I reached out to this guy named Dennis Newsom, and I asked him. I said, look, is there any books or anything that I can study? And he came out with this whole philosophical thing. He was like, oh, it's only for black people, just like Kung Fu is for Chinese people, or maybe in 20 years you can learn it, but right now you can't learn it, and I won't teach anybody who's not black. So I was like, all right, fine. And come along 20 years later, Light Burley and Mr. 52 changed the name from Jailhouse Rock to 52 Blocks, and, it blows up, because of the Protected 2, and my friend Maurice Crump showed a little bit of it, and, I was like, damn, I'm more of a hands guy, so I was like, this is right up my alley. So I said, Light, I want to train. How much would it cost to train? Where do you train? He tells me, okay, I train at this park, and I'm like, okay, well, how much and what time do you train? Never answered me again. I responded to him 2 more times. He never got back to me, so I said, okay, you know what, this guy, he seems like he's really busy, so I'm not going to reach out to him. And then all of a sudden I saw some infomercial for studying it online, a tutorial course. So I started doing that with this guy named he's real old. His name is Born Justice.
Okay.
And he's like one of the foremost on 52 blocks. And I've been doing that, and I don't know how it's going to look on camera, but it is what it is. If it's going to look good, it's going to look good. But I'm wired for myself because it's close quarter combat, and that's what people know me for, especially the film critics. They're like, oh, it's fight scenes are close quarters.
Talking about movies, I like your movie, and the style. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm mistaken?
Yeah, I mean, the one scene that I like is when because you're the protagonist in the film, right?
Well, all I'm trying to do is get home all I'm trying to do is get home to see my mother for the holidays and her birthday, and the past comes back to haunt you, as the tagline says. So
that girl, when the guy broke her neck, that was crazy, bro. I was like, my goodness, it got me pissed.
Yeah, you told me that. When you said it bothered you, I was like, a lot of people, because she's like, he got her stripped down to her panties, and she's crying, and then all of a sudden, he says he's gonna let her go, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna let her go, but not breathing, and then snaps her neck, and it's like, wow, like if you were there when this went on, when we did the fight scene, like you had to feel the energy in the room, man, I actually when I caught his arm, and I key locked his arm to do the arm break, I actually elbowed him in the face several times for real.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was so intense. I had water in my eyes, because I like to get into my characters. You know what I mean? And all my characters that I play are I'm a method actor. So if I see the character as somebody who's really overweight, then I put on the weight. If I see somebody who acts a certain way, then I do that, and that's the way I do my characters. But I felt this guy's pain, and I had to keep on apologizing because he's from Philadelphia as well, and he was wearing the gold grills, I think they call them, the gold caps. So every time I elbowed him, they would cut his whole mouth up, and I would knock him off his feet, and I was like, I'm sorry, but he's a really good guy and a great martial artist, Dominic Wright. And, he was very humble, and he took his chops, just like I did mine when he kicked me in my stomach several times for several takes.
Was that your first movie, or, because I liked it?
No. Actually, my very first movie, believe it or not, was called The Prey. And, before before Robert Rodriguez came out with Planet Terror, and he was doing started doing the Grindhouse. Me and my friend Bill Willis, we came up with this idea to make this like old fashioned like 80s type of 70s 80s type crackling feeling look on film, and we mixed horror and supernatural with martial arts. And if you were, do you remember a movie called Surviving the Game? Ice-T?
Yeah.
Okay, picture that movie, but with more of a supernatural essence, kind of like a brujeria.
Yeah.
With
witchcraft,
with martial arts, basically. Voodoo. And that's what we did. And we did it to pay homage to like the movies of the 70s, 80s that we grew up with, like horror and action. So that was my first film. You can get that online at Amazon.com.
Oh wow, I'll check it out.
Yeah, and then my second feature film was actually Flash Drive, which got picked up for distribution worldwide, and it was like everybody went crazy for it. I mean, there's no, I lost a lot of couple scenes, but it's not as long as it's supposed to be, but it was really done very well, and we had a great time doing that with my friend Emilio Pantero, who's actually the gun runner in Mistaken, who's also the executive producers on my films.
Wow.
So if you get a chance, I mean, you can always go on YouTube and Google my name, and all the trailers come up, and a whole bunch of shorts that I did fight choreography and wrote or directed. Because I don't just do martial arts too. I like to reach out. I have my cooking show as well.
Yeah, I was going to tell you that, man. I said to myself, this guy's a good cook. You're a fighter and a feeder.
Yeah, believe it or not, man. Like if you ever worked on one of my film sets, people would tell you,
would love to.
I cater everything.
Wow. Would love to work with you, man, one day. That'd be great.
Yeah, no, most definitely, man. My door is always open. Sukasa, you know what I mean?